everyone. Hello, how are you? I hope you're all doing super well. It is Friday again, yay! I'm just gonna double check that we are live. I'm hoping that everything has gone according to plan and we are actually live streaming. Just take a little while for me to do the relevant checks to make sure everything is working. And while we do that, you can see I have got some goodies here ready for to have a little play with. I've got a few ideas of projects that I want to do, and you'll know by the title that we are doing something that is Valentine's related. I'm trying to use my mouse to work my iPad, which is not really helping, is it? Let's have a look. Come on. Why is it being so strange? There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. What's everyone up to today? Let me have a look and see who we've got joining us. It is, of course, let's have a look. It is, of course, a lunchtime, which I know is sometimes a bit more of a difficult time. Yep, we are live on Facebook, so that's all fine. And you can hear me fine, so that's good. So it's just checking that we are live on our Instagram feed, because that's what we need to make sure of. So I'll have a little look at that. This really is like the hardest bit.
We are live on our Instagram feed.
There we go. So now we've done all of the housework and we can see where we are and that we are streaming where we're supposed to be. And you guys can see what I'm doing. Then we can actually start doing a bit of crafting now, which would be nice, wouldn't it? So, as you could tell by the title, we are doing 3 easy Valentine's cards. So this is the Valentine's card that I made last week, which I am still absolutely obsessed with. I love this little bit of jam on the toast there and the cute little toaster. And the background with that stencil, the XO stencil, has totally got me. I love it so much, and I love the scalloped edge. So we may use this die again today because I do think that this was a really fun card to make. But the cards that I'm going to make today are going to be a little bit, hopefully a little bit simpler, so that you can do them a little bit quicker. And you could do them for maybe Galentines as well as Valentines. Because I know you're probably only going to make one proper Valentine's card for your true love, but you might want to make ones to sell, and you might also want to make ones for your best friends or the people who actually mean, you know, as somebody special to you, not just for your other half. So I know I quite like making them for my dad. Some people like making them for their kids and things. It's quite cute. So hello to Paper Crafting Creations. Welcome to Instagram. Do drop me a little hello so I know that I'm not talking to myself if you are watching along, and if you're watching in the catch up, so if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook later, then welcome to you as well. So like I said, these are going to be 3 quite nice, quick, easy cards that we're going to do, and I've got a couple of ideas that we could do that involve some stencils. Now stencils I think are a really fun and easy way of building a card quite quickly and simply. So, and I am going to do that, I think, with I think I'll do that for my first project. So I've got 3 different stencils that I'm planning on using today, or potentially using today. I might not use this one, but we'll see. So this is the Heart Grid masking stencil, which is a really useful stencil to have in your stash. We've got the large heart masking stencil, which I'm definitely going to use in one of the projects. That's really handy to have. And you get the positive and the negative, so you also get the heart as a cutout piece, so you can use that to mask out a heart shape and do your stenciling around it, which is a nice effect. And that might be something that we could do. I might do that for my actual project because it would work really well, almost making this kind of a heart-shaped cloud. And then we've got the Scattered Hearts stencil here, which is what I'm going to use for my first project. I've also got the scalloped dies, those sweet scalloped frame dies. I've got my Love Is in the Air stamp set. I've got the We Go Together stamp set. Sorry, no, this is the Let's Spoon stamp set, and then this one's the We Go Together stamp set. Get that the right way around. I've got the A2, this is the A2 Stitched Hearts die set. So this has got this lovely stitched background, and then you've got your hearts with the sentiments that you can cut out in them, so they look a little bit like Love Heart Sweets, which I think is really, really sweet. So I think we might do a card using that, because that could be really quite quick and easy to do as well. And then I've got the Love You Lots sentiment die. So this one is the one that I think I'm going to use in the first project. So let's crack on and let's do our first project, because like I say, this is about it being quick and simple and easy. I might use a couple of the images from in my my little sets here, thinking about what might be quite cute to go with the Love You Lots. So little pizza's very cute, isn't it? Or the little avocados are very cute. They would be cute to go with it, wouldn't they, the little avocados? And then you could have the little sentiment underneath it of let's have a cuddle, there it is. I couldn't find it then. So that would be quite sweet. So I need to think about what colour scheme would I go for if I was using these guys, because I wanted to go with a bit of a pink and a kind of an aqua kind of colour, but I could mix it up a little bit if we're going to use these guys. If we went for what would we do? Would do kind of it's hard to put green with the pink theme. That's the issue that I have. But we will come up with something. I guess you could do kind of a yellow, green, maybe an orange, maybe a dried marigold would be quite nice. So maybe, because then you can go pinky dried marigold kind of colour. Let's have a look at trying to think what I did with my colour wheel, because that's always very helpful. There it is. So this is my colour wheel. So yeah, you've got your orange, yellows and greens, which are next to each other, and then opposites you're looking at more of a purple kind of a colour. So maybe purples and pinks with the greens. So we've got purples and pinks and then greens on the opposite. I'm not sure that's giving me Valentine's vibes, so I might stick to my original thoughts, and we can come up with a different image that will look sweet. Let's have a look. So I'm just going to have a quick flick through some of my stamp sets. Let me bring them over here so that you can see what I'm doing. So this is my big, one of my tubs here. I think, you know, I'm thinking of maybe some like little cupcakes or things like that would be quite cute, because I don't want to spend hours colouring in. That's not the purpose of this particular project. So it's finding some little icons that are going to work really well. Obviously we've got the Smitten Kittens with the little heart-shaped balloons, which is very cute. Or we've got some little cat characters, which are always very cute to pop on there. Or even our little foxes would be very sweet, wouldn't they, to pop on there. Little gummy bears are very cute. Or we've even got some like little sweets. So a little tumble of sweets might be quite cute. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. I think that goes with the theme quite nicely. And again, it's quite quick and easy to do, because like I say, we don't want any huge projects for this. We're keeping it very quick and easy. So I'm going to grab some blank cards, because we're going to stencil straight onto the back of here. And I'm going to use my little bone folder just to get a really nice crease down the centre of there. And then I'm going to do something that I did with the scalloped, with our scalloped die. I just masked off the outer edge so that we got a nice straight line, which is easier said than done, because that had a little bit of a stitched line to help guide me. This doesn't, so I'm going to have to try my very best to line it up. But what I might do is I might use the grid pattern on my board here just to help me out. So if I turn this way, and I would say I'm wanting about 5mm of you know, of edge, shall we say. So, but it's, you know, we're doing this by eye, we're not measuring it exactly. And then we'll do the same on the bottom here. So again, I'm just going to, and with this washi tape actually I can see a little bit through, so I can see that I'm doing it fairly straight, although that doesn't feel like that is totally straight. So let's just try that one again. I don't want any wonky lines, because that's going to really spoil my effect. But I think that looks a little bit better, doesn't it? And then we've got this one. Is that one going to be long enough, or shall we use that one on this side? You can see I've also used these bits before, and that's okay, because it means they're not quite as tacky anymore, and that is a good thing, because I don't want my paper to be ripped in any way. So again, I'm just using these guidelines here to see, am I doing this in a straight line or am I not? But that looks fairly straight. This one I'm still not fully happy with. It does still look a little bit like it's on the wonk. So let's try that one again. We will get this one right eventually. This is where your masking stencils are really quite handy, because it takes the guesswork out. And then on here I'm just going to go, I'm just going to pull a new piece, but for my new piece I am going to just pop it on the back of my hand, just to get some of that tackiness off there, so that it, again, the grease from my fingers, the natural oils, not that my fingers are dirty, but they do have natural oils that will mean that we are able to keep that nice and get rid of some of that tackiness, so that it's not going to damage our paper when we rip that off. So I'm going to pull this away, and I can see that I've managed to get a little bit of my hair trapped under this one. Let's remove that, because if we don't, that will leave a nice little hair-shaped mark on our project. In fact, there's a few little bits of fluff on there. Let's get rid of those. If it's not a bit of my hair, it's a bit of fluff from the cats. They love to get involved, don't they? So that's all that on there, and I'm going to grab my stencil mat because I don't want to damage my my craft mat any more than I already have. As you can see, it has got a bit dirty over the course of use in the last few months, so I'm probably going to have to invest in a new one, I think. So now we've done that, we've got our background. I am going to do just a full cover of spun sugar, I think, on the back of here. We will then do a little bit of worn lipstick, I think, maybe some festive berries when we come to do our actual stencil, but the background itself is going to be all in the spun sugar. So that means we're going to have a nice backdrop for the rest of our stencil. Paper Crafting Creations says never enough stencils, and turquoise, purple and pink. That would have been a really nice combination, and I am going with kind of the pink and the turquoise, but not the purple. And I was a bit nervous about doing the avocados, so I think I've talked myself out of that one. We're going for some nice bright sweets instead, because I wanted to keep it kind of bright and a bit funky. So we're going to add our colour with our Time Petite blending brush. This is the worn lipstick shade of brush. However, you can use any of your pinks with this particular brush. Just give it a bit of a wipe over with a microfiber cloth once you have finished your project, and it will be ready to go next time. But this won't seem like we're really adding a lot of colour down. I feel like the picture over on Facebook is not that clear, is it? I hope you guys can see okay over there. It looks fine elsewhere, but just on the old Facebook, it's looking like it's a bit blurry, and it looks like my hands are so white, and they're actually not that white, I don't think. I need to get some fake tan on, that's the thing. So yeah, it's bleaching out. The reason I'm saying that is because it's bleaching out the colour of our background, but when we do the reveal of the edges, you'll be able to see the contrast really clearly. So there we go. So we'll pop that on there, and then I'm going to add my stencil on top now. So this scattered heart stencil is such a good one. I'm going to stick this to my background just with a bit more of that washi tape, just so it doesn't move around. And I'm going to get nice smaller brushes with the smaller heads, and I'm going to use some of the worn lipstick, and we're going to add some colour to our background, and I'm just going to pick out little spots. So we're just picking out those spots where we can have a bit of this. I seem to have gone in like almost an even pattern of one in the middle and two at the side. And I'm trying not to be quite that symmetrical. I want it to be a little bit more random looking, but we've gone with that so far. And then the Festive Berries is a lovely colour. That was the colour that we used, the colour combination we used on this card, and I love it so much. So I'm going to repeat it, and I have the Candied Apple brush to do that. And in those spaces that we've not added the pink, I'm now going to add some of our red. That's going to go in there. And it doesn't matter if I'm overlapping some of those pink bits, because they will just give a little bit of gradient and a little bit of texture and a bit of interest. So now I've got my red on there, and that's looking really nice. Like I say, it's gone over on some of those pink bits, and I think it looks really cute when it does that. So just add a few little bits around the edges, maybe a little bit on that edge, and then we can go back over with the, oh, help if I took the lid off, that pink, to add a little bit more on there. That's so lovely. So we're just blending all of those colours together, and we're going to get a really, really lovely pattern with lots of texture and a blend of those colours, which is going to look really, really lovely. So put my lids back on my brushes, because that will stop any contamination until I come to clean those. And then I'm going to grab my cleaning stuff, because we're going to have to clean this down. But let's take off our stencil first, and you can see that that background is so gorgeous. I love that. I love that so much. So that's going to go there, and then let's reveal that little edge. So what this is a really great idea for is, if you wanted to create this kind of little frame, you could cut out another piece of cardstock and layer that up if you wanted to, but that's using more cardstock. It's obviously creating more dimension, because you're going to put an extra layer in there, and if you wanted to do that, you wanted to create a bit more of a layer onto your card, it's a really nice thing to do with an extra piece of cardstock. But this keeps it more of a one layer card, so you can see just how lovely that background is now with that lovely, and I think I actually did quite well with my frame, lining that up. It looks pretty straight to me, so I'm taking it. I'm having that. So let's clean this up and see where we are. Craft and Connect says they love this stencil. Thank you so much. This has been such a popular stencil over the years. It's not a new one. It's been out for probably for a few years now, actually, and it's one that we keep restocking because people absolutely love it. So yeah, I'm so glad that you like it too. So we've got that. I'm going to pop that stencil to one side. I don't need this for the moment because we're not using this right now. Okay. So I will love you lots. Let's get this this cut out. So like I said, I wanted to use a little bit of like a turquoise colour. So I'm sure I've got some down here in my stash, but I might have got some smaller bits that are the perfect size in my little stash. Yes, I have. These are the perfect size. That might not be quite wide enough, that one, but this one I think is absolutely the perfect size, like it was made for it, isn't it? I love that. So let's get this cut out now. I'm just thinking, I don't think it will go through my mini die cutting machine, this one. I think we're going to have to put this through the beast. This one's going to have to go through the big machine. So these are my plates. Yeah, it's going to be a tight fit, so I'm not going to try and squeeze it in. Let's get the big beast out. There we go. So let's grab my plates, and we'll pop this through the Gemini. So when I talk about the beast, I mean the Gemini. It's a big machine. It's quite noisy, but it is good. is a good machine because I can just let it run through and do its thing. So we're going to stamp out a couple of these images. That's done its thing over there. I'm going to stamp out some of these images. So I'm going to need a little bit of cardstock. Oh, I've just remembered that I did have this background from last time. How gorgeous is that? So nice. We've got some scraps there, but are they scraps that I can colour on? We'll use this. We'll use as Nina classic crest. So yeah, that would make a lovely background as well, wouldn't it, for one of these? So I could have potentially have cut that down and then used that as my background because that would have looked really nice as well. So we could use that for something. Again, another quick and easy card to then work with. So I've got a cut off of this card here that we're going to stamp some of our little images on, and I don't think I need many to go around it, but I also want to have enough, so I'm going to grab my acrylic block and my memento because I'm going to colour in with some alcohol markers. So let's pop that in the middle so you guys can see what I'm doing. So we've got one lollipop, two lollipops. I'm tempted to just do lollipops because I think the lollipops would look really cute. They're a nice size as well. So maybe if we just do those. I mean, what are my sentiments on here now I'm looking at it? I'm a sucker for you. Oh, that's really cute. I might do that. I'm a sucker for you. Or you make life sweeter. Or I'm sweet on you. Oh, cute. So if we were to have those, I think that's pretty cute, isn't it? I'm just going to stamp out a couple more. Just in case Aunt calls me just in case Joe, so I'm always doing extra or collecting extra or keeping hold of things just in case. Just in case. Does anybody else do that? Does anybody else just keep things just in case? You could have thrown them away years ago, but you never know when you might need them, so just in case I'm going to hang on to them. Yes, I'm definitely guilty of that. So I can pop this one back now. I might do the, I might do the I'm a sucker for you sentiment. I'm just trying to think, do I want it on white cardstock or black cardstock? I'm going to do it on white because I might not use it, and I might just pop it in the centre of the card as well. That's another option. Don't forget the centre of your card. Inside your card is a good place for a little sentiment and maybe a few little stamped images. We used to do that quite a bit. I know we had a couple of people who would watch on the regular who would be really big fans of that, so maybe we should bring that back. So just line that up onto there. That can go there. Right. So in terms of my colour scheme, I've got my background here as inspiration, and I've also got my sentiment. So let's grab that because this is going to be our inspiration as well. So let's pull that out of there. So you can see already where we're going with this because it is such an easy thing to do. Removing all the excess little bits of cardstock from there. So you can see that already on the front of this card is looking adorable. And this might be where we do a little bit of the purple that was suggested earlier. We could do some purple or some, yeah, maybe purple would be a nice little accent, wouldn't it, to this. There's nothing more disappointing than when your tea's gone cold, I find. So, yeah, so for our gorgeous little lollipops, we could go with more of the turquoise, or we could go with, like we said, the contrast colour of purple, which, if we look at kind of a bit of purple vibes against this, I think that is going to look absolutely spot on. So, to our paper crafting creations over on Instagram, thank you for the suggestion, because I think I'm going to go for it. So, I've got this is my favourite purple, the FV2. I don't know if you can see that, the FV2. Now, this is actually a fluorescent, but I love it. So I'm going to just use this as a bit of an outline to each element, apart from the very top of my my little lollipops here. So little outline, and what I might do is I might do one that's a little bit lighter in colour. So this is the BV00, this is the BV02. Let me just check that BV02 might be a better fit there. So I'm just going to fill in those gaps with the BV02 and just blend those edges out. So this would be like, this is making me hungry now, of like a blackberry kind of a flavour, a blackcurrant flavoured lollipop, which, yeah, I would definitely be liking that. Do we have anybody who is working on their Valentine's cards at the moment? Are we all up to date with our Valentine's cards? Or do you not send Valentine's cards? Because that is, you know, not everybody likes to send them. So I'm just going to go in with a bit of a lighter shade for this one, because I don't want to. Let's try the BV04. Looks a little bit more of a bluey shade. Yeah, that's quite dark, isn't it? Excuse me. That's why I prefer this this colour that we've gone for. Let's try the BV13. Is that a little bit? It's a little bit lighter, isn't it? Let's try that one. Just for the bit of contrast that we need. So that it's a little tiny bit more pale, but not massively so. And if you were thinking, I'm just thinking here, what would I like for a Valentine's gift from my other half? And I think if he was to buy me a bag full of like jellies and sweets, I would be very, very happy with that, because I do love jellies and sweets and things. So I'd be more than happy. For the little stick, so I'm only doing 3 because I think I am really only going to do 3. I think. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to place them, but we'll come back to that. Now, I don't know whether to do a brown, or I think I'm going to, actually, I was going to do the brown, but I think now on reflection, I'm probably going to do a grey, kind of what's the word? I want to say stem, but I don't mean stem. So it's not a stem, is it? It's a stick, like the lolly stick. Sometimes the words are so hard. So my lolly stick is going to be in grape, because you normally tend to find that they are just white paper, aren't they? So just add a little bit of extra shading at the top there. But I think that is fine as it is. So with this set we do have the coordinating dies. The coordinating dies are perfect because the cut line is directly on the edge of the die. Oh, I've just flicked all of those all over the place. And that means then that you can see exactly how much of a white edge you're going to get all around that image, so you can make sure that you've lined it up absolutely perfectly, and there should be no reason then why that wouldn't work. I'll grab my scissors because I'm just going to cut this down to fit through my smaller die cutting machine, because I don't need the big one for this. Pop them to one side because I might use them again for the next project. These might all be lovely coordinating cards that you could sell as a Valentine's set, perhaps, because that's a good option. You could sell a few of them all together at maybe a different price than you would normally charge, to encourage people to buy more if you were selling these at like your car boot sales or your craft fairs and that kind of thing. So let's pop that one on there. I think this is going to look really cute. So this is going to be our card number 1. Really easy. I think you'll agree this one's super simple. And I think what I might do with our next one, I was going to do the Love is in the Air with the cloud, but I'm kind of tempted to do the avocados now. So I don't know, what should we think? Should we do the avocados? Because the Love is in the Air die set actually isn't available, so that's a bit mean if I use that one, isn't it? So let's do the other. Or I could do the Let's Spoon, or the You Light Up. Oh, the You Light Up would be quite a cute one. You Light Up My Life, because right, I've come up with the idea now. I know exactly what we're going to do. So get ready. Get ready for it. Maybe we pop that one on the top there. That's cute. Okay, so you can see that we've done 3. I did 5. I stamped out 5 just in case, because we work in odd numbers, but 3 is the ideal number for us to use. So I think I'm going to stick with the 3. So let's pop this together, and I'm going to add a bit of foam tape to the back of this. Now the other thing that you could do, which actually if I've got some smaller bits I might do, is cut this out in foam, or you could just cut out several of them in cheaper cardstock or in the same colour cardstock to create your own like chipboard piece. But I'm going to have a look, see if I've got any foam that's the right size for this particular sentiment. That one's not quite big enough, is it? I want white preferably, because obviously some of them are not quite big enough. What we got here? Is that one going to be big enough? That one might be just big enough. I think I might get away with that one. Yeah, let's try that one. If you ever are in a situation where you perhaps haven't got any foam tape, or you don't want to use foam tape, this is really handy, the foam, for cutting out your other shapes. So you could cut out these, for example, and then you've got it completely covered So that's a really good thing to do. So let's cut this one out. It's not exactly the right size, but enough of it will be backed. If you think about where you would put your foam tape, you're not going to cover all of it anyway with your foam. So if there is a few little edges that aren't fully covered, I'm not going to worry. So let's pop this through. I feel like today is going to be a messy craft day. I'm going to have stuff everywhere. And after this crafty session with you guys, I am prepping for Hobby Maker. So I am back on Hobby Maker TV tomorrow at 5 o'clock. So please do join me for that if you can. If you're not doing anything else on a Saturday afternoon, if the other half is watching the football and you know you just want to get out of the way, then get yourself on YouTube or on Sky and watch me doing a bit of crafting on Hobby Maker as well. We've got brand new stuff which I know you guys are going to love. So we're bringing our cardstock and coordinating die bundles back because they've been so popular the last few times that we've brought them. They seem to be going down a storm, so we've got some more different designs for you of those, and I love crafting with them because they are, again, when we're short on time and we want quick and easy projects, they are perfect for that. So yeah, if you're a bit time poor and you want to craft still, they are the ideal sets for that. Because like we're doing here today, where we're putting together a few little backgrounds and a few little accent pieces, that's exactly what they are made for, really. So a bit of glue on the back there, and we're going to add our little bit of foam on the back and move that into the right place because it is flexible until it's stuck down, and then when it's stuck down, it's stuck. So now we've got all of that covered, and you can see here that there isn't any coverage there, but we don't care about that. That's not going to get in our way. So we've got some more glue then on the back of here. And pop that on there. And then our little go on, lollipops, I want to dot about the place, so I am going to use a little bit of tape, a bit of foam tape here. This is my shaker tape, and I can cut this to exactly the size that I want, which is good because I'm going to lean some of the lolly onto my image, so I don't want all of it to be backed with the foam tape, otherwise it will stand strange. So I just want a little bit on here, and then I probably do want to pop a little bit on this bit. Obviously that's a bit more tricky because it's very narrow, so I'm going to have to take my little bit of shaker tape and cut that in half. It's very easy to cut and it doesn't stick to your scissors because I just don't know what it is, but this this foam tape is the best in the business. It's some that was made specially for us, and I'm hoping to be able to source it again for you guys because we are out of stock, but it was expensive to produce, so it's one of those that I think is more of a in-person kind of buy because the shipping of it can be quite eye-watering, shall we say. So yeah, when we've been to the shows and things, people have lapped it up because it is immense. I mean, you get so much of it for a start, and it is incredible. It's the best foam tape that you will ever buy. And I'm selling that to you, you know, and promoting it, and just, you know, going mad about it, and I can't even sell it to you, so that's that's no good because we don't have any. So that's when you know it's genuine, because I can't not talk about it. It's so good. So, and then this final one, I'm thinking of possibly just laying up there a little bit. That might look cute. Or I was going to pop it kind of kicking up that way, or do we tuck it behind the love there? That looks quite cute, doesn't it? Or you could have it as the O. I think that takes away from it a little bit, but I think maybe if we had that one at the back, maybe flat, or do we raise the, I quite like that. So I'm going to do with this one, I'm just going to add a little bit of dimension on the top of the lollipop, on the sweetie bit, but then the little stick, I'm going to literally push behind the sentiment there. So we're going to slot that into there. I've added a little bit of glue just for extra security, and then pop that, just turn it around a little bit so you can see a bit more of that, so you can see it's just kind of stuck in the top there. Very cute. And then our sentiment of I'm a sucker for you, I was going to cut out and put at the bottom, but the other thing that we could do, and we should have done this before we stuck everything down, but not to worry. You could have the sentiment I'm sweet on you, you make life sweeter, I'm a sucker for you, just here. And we could just stamp that onto our background, which I'm going to do. I'm going to do that right now because I've just decided that that's what we're doing. So bear with me if my head pops into view, because I just want to get that as snug to that sentiment. And like I said, normally you wouldn't do this while you've got, you know, stuff already on the background, but actually that's worked really, really well. That was a bit of a tense moment, but we did it. So, and I love that. I think that's really, really cute. So, loving how that looks, loving the result of that. What do we think? Are we a sucker for this particular card? Finishing touches for this one are going to be so much fun, because we're going to use a white Jelly Roll pen first of all, which you know is my favourite thing to do. We love a bit of white Jelly Roll pen. I'm going to use my size 10, which is a little bit bigger. I'm hoping that it's not fallen asleep now, it's still flowing, which is fabulous. I'm going to add a little bit to our lollies as well. There we go, and a little bit on there, and a little on there. And then I'm going to do this onto my cardstock, because I think this is such a lovely effect when you highlight your coloured cardstock. Ooh, went a bit wobbly there, but don't worry. And again, you could do this before you stick it down. I just like to do it afterwards, because obviously I don't always want to wait for it to dry before I start using it. So I tend to just And it's also, these finishing touches are some of my favourite things to do. So I like to finish off doing some of these things. And I'm varying which way round I do the line and then the dots. You can see there's been a little bit of variety how I've done that. Just to keep it a bit interesting for me as much as anything else. Just mixing it up. And that, I think, just looks amazing. The other thing that you could do, which I'm not going to do this time around, but you could glaze your lollipops. You could also pull out some of these little hearts and add some sparkle to them. There's so many different things you could do to make that even more of a fun card. But that, for me, is absolutely just the business. I think that's really cute. So that's that. So that's card number 1 of our easy cards, and I think you'll agree that was super easy to do. It's taken me a while to organise myself, but I'm very happy with what I've done. So card number 2, card blank at the ready. Get my, what time are we on? Oof, we're only on card number 2 and we're 40 minutes in, so let's see if we can somehow speed up a little bit. Maybe we do this as a 1-layer card. That would make it much speedier, wouldn't it? So let's get my heart masking. If I could speak, it would help you all, I'm sure, but let's grab this one. I don't know why this is a brand new one, because I have had one of these before, so I don't know whether it got damaged or something and I've had to get myself a new one. But yeah, this is a brand new stencil. So on the masking stencils, what is so good about these is that, and it's going to be really hard for you to see on screen, but you might be able to just see the shadow if I hold it at an angle. It's got an etched line all the way around the outside. One of them is an A6 line, the other one is an A2 line. So the A2 line is American, the A6 is the European one. And if you fit it inside the line that is appropriate to your size of card, excuse me, then you are going to have it in exactly the right place. So I've lined that up with my A6 card, and I'm going to just flip this over and use some of this this old washi tape that we've been using just to fix this in place. And I feel like I've just moved that ever so slightly because I don't want it to move, obviously, while we're doing our stenciling, like so. So that's how you would fix it from that point of view. But with this one, I think I am considering doing the reverse. So if we were to do the reverse, we're going to use this one, aren't we? And that's going to sit in the middle of our, and we're going to ink blend around the outside. I think I want to do that. So the way that, there's a couple of ways that you can do this and fix this. You can use like a stencil glue, which I don't actually have, or you could use, again, you could use a little bit of low tack tape, which is what I'm going to attempt to do, just to hold it in place. I'm sure there are other ways that other people have tried and might work really well, but this is the one that I'm going to try today because I don't really have anything else around me. The other thing that you could do is you could cut around this shape and with some like I say, some masking paper, and use that as your stencil. So I've used this to help me line that up. As you can see, I've just used that, so now I know that's in the right place. And I'm going to remove my washi tape because we're not doing it that way around. That was just for demonstration purposes. And on here I've got my gorgeous little light bulb who's going to sit in the middle of there, you see. But we're going to ink blend around him, and I'm going to ink blend around him in a combination of pinks and dried marigold. I love a bit of dried marigold, a bit of scattered straw. Oh, I think that's going to look just amazing. So let's go for a little bit of a combination, dried marigold and worn lipstick and scattered straw, and we're going to do a lovely little combo around this heart and see what happens. So I'm going to hold on to it with my fingers as well, because I'm not naive enough to think that that tiny little bit of washi tape is going to be all it takes to hold this in place. I do need a little bit more pressure on here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that onto there. That's that. I am finding that I'm needing my reading glasses more and more, which is really frustrating, because I'm like, glasses on, glasses off, what's it going to be? So a bit of dried marigold mixing in with that lovely bit of worn lipstick. So I'm just going to mix those two together around the sides here as well, over the top of this little bit at the bottom. Yeah, let's make this a one layer card, because that will be really fun. We don't do a lot of one layer cards, and if we're doing easy cards, this one's going to be like just the easiest one of them all to do, really. So I'm going to go back in with my worn lipstick, just to add a little bit more blend around the edges here, because I want to have that kind of pinky, warm pinky glow going on. And you could do so many things with this heart shape in the middle. So thinking about what you might have got in your stash for different images, you can certainly use those. And the avocados, I don't think the avocados wouldn't not go. That was what I was going to say, but I don't think that's the words that I needed. So, and then around the very outside, and I'm doing a very naughty thing here that I said I wasn't going to do, because I haven't put my stencil mat down, and this is why my my craft mat gets so filthy, isn't it? So don't do as I do, because then you'll end up with a filthy craft mat that you can't clean, and ends up with lots of ink stains on it, and then you have to get a new one. So I must admit, I've got through a couple of craft mats this last year, and haven't replaced them, so I've just kept on trying to get as much use as possible out of them, just because I'm a little bit I don't know, it's one of those things, until I come to, when I come and use it, I'm like, oh, I really need to get a new one of these, but it's something I always forget to get, so I must tell myself to do that. So I think that is already looking pretty beautiful as it is. This colour combination is so lovely, and you can warm it up or cool it down as much as you want by adding more of that pink. I'm going to add a bit more of this not the scatter straw, this is the dried marigold, because that's going to give it that kind of warm lit up glow, because this is going to be more about it being a light than it being pink necessarily. So we're going to take out a little bit of that pink, or smooth out a bit of that pink, by adding a bit more of the dried marigold. But that's going to give it a lot of warmth, so just radiating out of the middle. The other thing that we can do here, which I think I might do, and I'm hoping I've got enough water left, because I didn't top up my water bottle, is to, before I take the mask off, is to spray a little bit of water on that background. So this is going to be really fine, and it's almost going to be like a bit of sparkle almost, let me grab some kitchen roll. I'm just going to let that sit a tiny amount of time before I blot that. So that's some tiny little speckles which you can barely really see, but if we wanted a little bit more, all we need to do is, and like I say, I've literally got the tiniest bit of water, but I'm just going to put my brush in there, which has got a bit of pink on it for some reason, and then I'm going to just tap that off. And yes, there might be a little bit of pink in that because it looks like that hasn't been properly cleaned since I last used it, but as we've got a bit of pink, I don't think it's going to matter because I'm going to blot it all up anyway. Oh, throwing things around. Need to remember to change that. So we'll leave that for a second, and then I'm just going to blot all of those bits up anyway. Hello Annalisa, how many cards have you made? I've missed them all. Well, I've only made one so far, so we're on card number 2. So you know me. I don't work fast, but it's quality over quantity, isn't it? That's what they say anyway. So I'm going to pop my little guys there back and that out of my way because I'm being surrounded. So now we have our background sorted. Here we go. So let's oh, now I can't even pick it up. Oh my goodness, this is going to look so beautiful. This has done such a good job of masking this background. I'm peeling it off really carefully, but look at that. Stunning. Love that. I really do. Oh, there's just something so satisfying about lovely white crisp edges when you're doing your stenciling. It is just fabulous to see. So I'm going to pop that away because we don't need that, and then like I say, we're going to have a look at our looks fab, says Craft and Connect. Love this stencil. The background is lovely and uncharacteristically organised with your what? Sorry, I missed that bit. It's hard to keep up with all of the comments because I've got comments on Facebook, comments on YouTube, comments on Instagram. If anybody's watching over on TikTok, because we are live on TikTok as well, I cannot see any of your comments. I haven't figured out TikTok. TikTok is still a mystery to me. So if you are watching on TikTok, hello. I love that you're watching. I think I might be able to see your comments afterwards, but I can't see what you're commenting on live because I've not quite figured that one out. So I'm on multiple platforms trying to read multiple messages, so I'm a bit all over the place. It is my dream in 2025, I had to think what year it was then, to understand all of this, because at the moment I don't. So, You Light Up My Life is going to be my sentiment, and that's going to sit on there. And then I think I'm going to do 2 of these little little characters to fill that space. And in the set, it's also got these lovely little hearts, which I think just doing a little bit of a pop of colour with a heart, again to keep it all one layer and keep it all really simple, is going to be perfect. So our card stock, and I don't know if you guys know this, is that same super smooth cardstock that we use for all our cards. So it is a really great quality, and you can colour straight onto it. So that's what I'm going to do. So I am going to do, and this is where this is going to be fun actually. Let's do this. She says it's going to be so much fun. I'm going to do 1 straight onto my background, and I'm going to do 1 that's popped up, because that will look cute. So if we do 1 just stamped straight onto our background here, there we go, and then this guy is just going to be sitting there. This cardstock, actually, the Nina Crest, is not pure white, so I'm going to use some of my white cardstock because it will match my background much better. So let me have a look, see if I've got some. Got a little offcut of it here, so there we go. That's more of a match in terms of the colour of cardstock. So I don't want it to not look right when we do it. So that's going to go on there. Sorry if that went off screen for you guys. My sentiment, again, I'm just going to do it flat. So this is going to be such a great little card to do, because again, it's so quick, it's easy, it's simple, but it's effective. And I'm going to use my VersaFine for my sentiment, because my VersaFine is the best ink ever for this, because it's so bold and it will stand, you know, it'll really stand up against the background. So I think I'm going to do it across there. So excuse my head again. I'm hoping that that is straight. We are hoping against all hope that we have done a nice straight and clean stamp. And what I would say is, if you haven't done a lovely clean stamp, you can always then stamp it onto another piece of cardstock and do it separately. And use the coordinating dies to cut it out, because we do have the coordinating dies to cut that out. So again, you can do that, but I want to keep this as flat and one layer as possible to prove that I can do a one layer card, almost, not entirely, because it's not entirely a one layer card. So we're going to pop up one of our little light bulbs, but you know, we're almost one layer, aren't we? And that is making it such a quick and easy little thing to do. And if you've got any like little embellishments that are little hearts or things, you could use those to decorate. But I'm going to use some of my VersaFine ink, because it's a little bit. So this is Ladybug, and I think I'm going to use that because it's a little bit stronger than the and a bit more opaque than the Distress Oxides. So I've got my my little images here, and I'm going to colour these in. So for the base, I'm going to do very much a grey bottom, because that's metal. And I think metal looks better in the cool greys. So a little bit of cool grey along the bottom of there. That's the cool grey 7, so I've gone in very dark, but then I'm going to go in for the cool grey 3 as my next shade, which is very much a lighter contrast, but does work. If you went for the 5, I think you would end up it just being too dark, so you don't want to do that. There we go. For the kind of the, what's the word, the bit of glass, now again, this is something that you can do with a bit of glaze pen, and I think that looks really amazing. So I'm just going around the outside edge with my blue there, and then one of these guys I'm thinking I'm going to do just as a kind of a faint element, and then one that's a little bit brighter. So I think this one is the one I'm going to do that with. And my colour scheme, let me think, I might need to just test out a couple of colours. I think that's a really nice colour to do. And I'm just going to do all the way around the outside edge there. And then I need like almost what's this? So I'm replicating pretty much the colours that are around the outside of my heart here. So I've gone for, the colours that I've gone for are the YR31, that's my yellow shade. It's actually called, what is it called? Light reddish yellow. And then the RV42, which is the salmon pink. I love this colour, it's so nice. So, and it does very much match the colours that we've been using. So that's going around there. And then I need a paler colour. Let's have a look at this one. This is, what colour is this? Macadamia nut. Oh, lovely, perfect. So I'm just going to do that all the way around the outside there, just to blend that out. Same in the centre. Just blend all of those bits together so they look lovely. Very cute, very, very cute. In fact, I might make that a bit more pink in the middle. Sweet. So you're lighting up my life. I feel like it might need a little bit more of a pink, a bit more of a red. That's a bit too red. Maybe this one. Let's try this. It's more of a salmony pink. Although I don't know. That's quite nice, isn't it? Let's go for a bit more of a deeper salmon there, so that it stands out a little bit more. In fact, I'm going to do the whole heart centre in that. So I've just built up my colour there because I couldn't quite decide what I wanted to do there. But when I see it against the background, I just feel like it just needed a little bit more of a oomph about it. A bit more of an oomph. There we go. It's got a bit more oomph now, hasn't it? So that final colour was the R22, which again I think is quite a nice little salmony pink colour. So, and this little guy, you know, he's not fully sparkled yet, so he will have some little cheeks though. And this guy's got some little salmony cheeks as well. I might have to use the darker shade for his cheeks because he's fully lit up. That is looking ridiculously cute, isn't it? So let's cut this guy out, and then this will be card number 2 done. Get my little die cutting machine, and then I need my coordinating die for this one. So let's pop that on there. And I'm glad actually that I have decided to pop just one of the elements up on here because it makes it stand out. It tells a story, doesn't it, in its own little way. Because this guy has had his light lit up. Laura says, that's a lovely glow, thank you. Annalisa says that she's also a slow card maker. I can be quick occasionally, but I still feel like a lot of people are much faster than me, and I seem to, but I think it can be deceiving on social media. If you're watching like people's videos and things, they do a lot of prep beforehand. Like when I go on Hobby Maker, I do an awful lot of prep beforehand. That means that you don't see behind the scenes, which means that when I come to put my card together, you're only seeing snippets of the actual process. Plus, it's all already been thought through and been decided, and you know, all of the thinking time is being eliminated. Danny Doodle says, afternoon, I haven't been able to join a live in forever. It's great to be here. It's lovely to have you, Danny. How are you doing? What are you up to these days? Are you still card making and crafting away? I know you'd been doing some of your own designs, I think, haven't you? Which is really fun. It's tough times at the moment for anybody getting into the industry, I know, because all the restrictions for shipping and things, but there's so many good designers out there. It'd be a shame for you know, people not to give it a go, and support, you know, smaller businesses, because we're all just trying to keep this craft industry going, aren't we? It feels to me like we had the boom time over COVID, and then everyone's got a little bit nervous, I think, because of all of the cost of living and stuff. So it's put a bit of a break on things, but these things do always come back. So I think the crafting industry is about to experience that little upsurge again, hopefully. So I've got my little heart here, and I've got my memento. Annalisa says, I can never be quick, you are quicker than me. Well, I don't know about that. I think I've probably had to. Danny says, I'm well, thanks. Yes, still card making and designing. Love that. Well done. It is, and I am going to be doing, the other thing that I need to tell you, I'm a hobby maker, like I said, so do look out for that this weekend. We're bringing out new cardstock products all the time now as well, and I'm designing for a new collection that I'm hoping is going to be released really soon. It's just there's not enough hours in the day sometimes, but I'm also going to be putting out a DT call. So you may have noticed that some of our design team have unfortunately had to leave us because of the whole shipping to Europe situation. I can't get products to our European design team members, which is awful, because they have been so amazing. They've been doing some absolutely fabulous projects for me, and now I just can't send them anything more. So, you know, it's very hard to be on a design team when I can't send you any products to play with. So that means that I am going to have to do another call and look for people who are designers in the UK, America and Canada only, because they're the only areas that really I can continue to ship to, which is something that I never thought I would have an issue with all of the things, you know, that have happened, you know, over the years and stuff. Obviously COVID being one of them. I'd never thought for 1 minute that I wouldn't be able to ship to Europe, which is just crazy. So, and the fact that it's easier for me to ship to America or Canada or Australia or Peru than it is to France, which I could literally get on, you know, could get on a train to get to France. I'm not getting to America anytime soon, but you know, I can ship my stuff to America without any issues. So I do find that's frustrating, I have to say. Whoever is making these decisions, you know, and whoever thought that Brexit was a good idea, they were missold a dream, I feel. But enough of that crazy politics. We've got some love in the air. So this is my You Light Up the Life card. This is possibly one of my favourite cards that I've made recently. In fact, both of these cards, all of my Valentine's cards so far are the one. I'm loving them all. So I added a bit of glazed pen to those eyes so that they really pop. You saw me add those little hearts on the back there, and I feel like I'm so glad I did that, because that's really added a little pop of colour, but also it being flat has just added to the design, and the fact that we've only got one element popped up again just means that it works so well. So my sentiment might be a little bit on the wonk, but please don't judge me for that. Okay, so we're an hour and 20 in. If we can do this one in 40 minutes, I'll be buzzing. Laura says that's infuriating. I don't know who these rules are meant to benefit. Well, they're certainly not benefiting any of us, are they, sat here? So, and we've been trading for, I know, you know, they say that it's about health and safety and, you know, quality of products, and I get that. That is very important, and I would never not support not support that side of it. However, when you've got companies that have been trading for numbers of years and have never had any issues with their quality of product, then it feels really harsh to then penalise those particular businesses like us. There are some, and I think some industries it really applies to, but probably not ours so much, because, you know, in all the years that we've been trading, there's never been an issue with safety for our products at all. So yeah, I'm finding it quite hard to get my head round, really. So I'm just popping some of my pens away because this next one, I don't think I'm going to do any colouring in. So again, this is going to be a nice easy one for just die cutting potentially. I've not fully committed to it because I do like this one, but like I say, we don't have any of those in stock. So, and I did like my avocados, but again, I don't think I'm going to go there. I'm going to use this because I love this very, very much. So this is a beautiful backdrop for any card. So I'm going to cut out some cardstock using that. I'm also going to cut out some of these gorgeous little hearts. So can't get them out. Let's do it properly. Here we go. We've also got this little scallop bit. I'm just going to see how much of that covers up my hearts. Quite a bit, so that's a shame because I do really like that. So I'm going to use this instead because this fits perfectly on the inside, and that gives us that little bit of a raised edge and a little bit of a stitched edge, should I say. Then inside of that, so I could do that, or I could just keep it as is. So we've got, I want to try and get 3 of these on here if possible, which I think we can do, so we can get 3. And then I've got 3 sentiments here, hugs, XOXO and hi, that I'm going to cut out of the back of these. So I'm just trying to think about the best way to do this. I think I'm going to cut this first. Yeah, I think we can get 3. We might only be able to get 2 on there comfortably. I might go with the 2, but we'll see. Or do we do, yeah, because you can definitely only get 2 on that frame. Okay, unless I stenciled out the middle bit, that could be a thing. Let's cut this from some cardstock first, then we know what we're doing. I'm literally just blathering away to myself here, aren't I? So I need some of our lovely cardstock, which I've got here. Now this stencil is an A2 size stencil. It's not a stencil, it's a cover die. This cover die is A2 size. So it is not the same as your normal A6 size. It is the American sizings. So bear that in mind. What did I do with my plates? I put them back, being tidy. And that's fallen off already. I might need to crack open a new bit of washi tape because this has been very well used now. So pop that through. That means I need an A2 size piece of card, which I'm going to say I need to have a little hunt for. Where might that be? Oh, it's up here, look. Excuse me while I just rummage around on a shelf. This was not the best planning, but I do have a little box of A2 cardstock here. We could go with a nice bit of pink, actually. A nice pink piece of cardstock, that would be very cute. But I've also got white as well, just plain white backgrounds, and a 6 size as well. So I'm going to go with the pink then, because I think the pink is very pretty. And what you can do, and what I could have done actually, let me do that instead. Yes, I like that idea. Now I've just thought of it. Let's grab this. So, like so. Obviously we're going to pop that on there. But if I cut this out of the centre, then you will see some of that pink background popping through, which would, and then leave the centre white. Yeah, I'm going to do that, you know. That is a good idea. And the way that I'm going to do that is, again, I'm going to use this as my guide to add my washi tape. So, washi tape, where are you? So we're doing lots of lovely stenciling today, which I'm very much enjoying. So if we line that up where we want it, so it's got to be kind of evenly spaced, and I'm leaving the centre white. No, I'm leaving the outside white. No, I'm leaving the centre white, aren't I? Goodness. Are the brain cells working today? I'm not sure. So when I've lined that up, I'm going to pop that on there. Yes, this is what I'm doing. This is correct. I'm using my die basically as a stencil. Now you could, if you wanted to, cut the cardstock out, so the shape out with some cardstock, and then use that as your stencil, the cardstock, rather than the die. But I'm trialing something here because we're going for quick and easy, aren't we? So that's that. That's my card base. We've got that. We've got a spare bit of card there. Love that. Okay, so I am going to use my stencil mat here. Absolutely love this yellow and orangey colour scheme. The dried marigold, worn lipstick and scattered straw combo is amazing. So yeah, highly recommend that, Laura. So let's get this lined up, and I'm going to go with my trusty worn lipstick on the outside. So again, we're going with a lovely pink theme, because we can't go wrong for Valentine's, and all of these are going to coordinate so well together. Like I say, if you're creating a little bit of a set, this is going to look adorable. So when you add ink, and the reason why I've gone for this way around is because when you add ink to those stitched hearts, they really do pop. It really brings them out, and it just looks adorable. So let's add ink all the way around the outside. So after the live today, I then have got to go and do some prep for tomorrow's Hobby Maker. Like I say, I'm on at 5 o'clock, and I've not started any preparation for it. So when we're talking about creating cards fast, Annalisa, this is going to be a real test for me, because when you create cards for TV, you have to prep all of the stages as well. So I tend to make a card, but then, oh, I've gone over onto my background there. So that's my bad. So just a little note for you there. I can cover this up, and I will cover this up somehow, but because I didn't put washi tape here and I've just been chatting away and not paying any attention to what I'm doing, I should have put washi tape all the way along, because then that would have stopped that from happening, and me getting ink onto my lovely white background. And the same here. I've got a little gap there, which is going to create potential for me getting pink. And what you don't want is an extra pink line on the inside, because it just looks weird, and it doesn't look as clean or as professional. So that's my bad. That was me not concentrating. But what I can do, and what I will try and do, and it will still look great, I believe, I'm hoping so. Oh, what am I doing? Is I can add a little bit of white jelly roll over it, and that should, a bit like Tipp-Ex in it, for those of you that remember Tipp-Ex. Is there a whole generation of people that don't know what Tipp-Ex is now? I don't know. Do we still use Tipp-Ex in schools? Or do we all just type things on iPads now? I think there will eventually become a generation that doesn't know any of these, like, handwritten type elements, because everything's just typed, isn't it, onto a computer screen now, which is a little bit sad. Okay, so now we've got our backdrop sorted. I'm going to remove this because we don't need this now. I will give it a clean later. But now we're going to create our little background of little love hearts. Yep, put that there. Okay, so let's try and remove this die very carefully, and a bit of washi tape. That's actually created a really nice little edge, hasn't it? It's not as crisp as when we used our masking stencil, of course, because this isn't designed for that purpose. This was an improvisation and a little experimentation, so it's created a softer edge. But that's, you know, I'm not mad at that, because that is, again, a design choice in itself, isn't it? So we've got now all of these. So we've got a little bit of pink there, and obviously we've got our pink there. So like I said to you, what I can do, and I'm going to try my best to do, is to cover that up with a little bit of this jelly roll pen. So I'm going to do it in small layers, and I'm just adding little dots, because if I try and colour it, it is going to end up that I'm colouring it in pink. So the ink itself will connect with the ink of my pen, and it will just turn my pen pink. So then I will just be colouring more pink over my background than I want. So I've diluted that down ever so slightly, and then we'll come back to it and see if we can get rid of it totally by the end. So next up is some cutting out of a card. So I'm thinking the colour scheme that I'm going to go for, I like the idea of using this turquoise, so let me just grab this again. Turquoise, we've got pink, and I quite like the idea of the yellow. I like the warm pink in the background is going to look cute. So I'm very annoyed with this backdrop, and I'm very much feeling the temptation to just cut this out in white now, because I've frustrated myself that is the case. So I am going to cut this out in some white cardstock, because I can't, the perfectionist in me can't handle that not looking perfect. So yeah, so that was a you know, a fine experiment, but it didn't fulfill my needs. I'm not happy. So because it's going to spoil the overall effect. So we'll move on. These things happen, and we will move to another solution. So our solution is to just cut out the rectangle in our white cardstock. It's given us that nice clean edge. There we go, and that's going to sit there. Because when you do the ink blending, it is a little bit, the die is bigger than what it cuts. You're going to have this little white edge. So in order to get rid of that and make sure that it is totally crisp, I'm going to go back over with my one lipstick, and I'm going to bring in those edges now. So that lovely crisp edge that I created, I'm now going to get rid of, because I don't want to see that now. I just want to see lots of lovely pink. So do around the bottom as well. And I'm using my smaller brush because my smaller brush is giving me a bit more depth of pink. So it will blur that line that little bit better than if I was just to use the larger brush. I only want that colour in a certain place. Don't want to really go back over everything. And I don't need to fill the whole page. I just need to blur out this edge. So obviously that is an experiment that we tried. And if I had been a bit more careful, I think that would have worked really well. I think it also would have worked really well if we'd cut it from the cardstock and used the cardstock as our mask. So there's a couple of tips there that you might be able to benefit from. And then I'm just going to go over all of the edges with my larger brush. There's not even any ink on this, I don't think, but it is just blending all of that together. Lovely. I love this worn lipstick as well. This worn lipstick, I've had these ink pads for such a long time, and it always amazes me that, you know, they still are just great to go to. So now when we pop that in the middle, it looks less obvious that there was I guess a little bit of a line in the middle. So back to our little story here. Now I could either use cardstock or I could use paper, but I think cardstock's going to be my best friend here. So this gorgeous bit of turquoise, I think this is just such a lovely colour. That one's not quite wide enough. My scraps are always great for this. So we've got a bit of turquoise. Let's just cut a little scrap of this off. I'm going to go with, have I got anything that is a little bit, where's my little scrap of cardstock? Is that big enough? That might be big enough, because I don't think I've got any of this kind of dried marigold colour. So because I don't have the colour, I'm going to create the colour, and I'm going to create the colour dried marigold on here. Perfect, easy peasy. And I also want a little bit of lavender, which I know I've definitely got up here somewhere about. There we go. This is my little lavender pile. And I'm going to go with just this bit here. That's perfect. And then for the backgrounds, we're going to go with that same worn lipstick shade. So I'm going to grab my pink scraps, wherever they've gone. Pink, pink, pink. Aha, pink. There we go. So this is the pink that I've got. That is the most like the pink that I'm using, but I have a feeling that none of them are quite the warm lipstick shade that I want. So I'm going to use a bit of this pink here. And I'm going to colour that in with some of the warm lipstick. So it's already got a pink tinge to the background, but is not the pink that we want. So I've got these two bits here. I'm going to cut these out. I'm going to use our little die cutting machine for this. So that one and that one. So this is a great little set because you can cut out two hearts at the same time. So the hearts are exactly the same size, but you just cut them out at this. You can cut them out at the same time, which is great. Just a bit of a time saver. And then we're going to cut one out of the worn lipstick as well. So we'll pop that there. And then we're going to use this bit of cardstock. We're going to do, which way around? I think maybe that way around is quite cute. Or is it better that way around? Yes, that's cute, isn't it? So let's do hi and hugs. So a bit more washi tape, line up the sentiments. I hope you guys can see. Sorry, I just realised I'm right at the bottom of the screen there, aren't I? Because I was trying to fit everything onto one page here. So, and then the hi is going to sit there. That looks pretty straight. That through there. Lovely. So we've got our other little dried marigold backdrop, and then we've got our XO. I can pick it up with my nails as it doesn't want to. Come here. There we go. So make sure we've got these the right way around so that they are spelling the word that we want them to. Put that in there. There we go. Oh, and you have got all the little letters as well if you wanted to use those, but I find it easier to cut them out of the cardstock and then back your cardstock. So that's what we're going to do. So we've got hugs. Hugs first of all. That's the hugs. Too cute. And we've got hi, which is that one. That one's going to go there. And then we've got this one that we're going to cut out. Look at the tiny little hi. So cute. We'll pop this one through because this is our XO. And then, like I say, I'm going to do the backdrop to it. So rather than it being a white in the background, I want it to be, look at that, that's so cute. I wish I got the patience to deal with the little letters, but I don't. So that's why I do it this way, because we now have the XOXO. You could take the centre bits from your O's and pop them back in, but again, I don't really have the patience for that. Some people might. And if you do, then I think that's awesome. But we now need to do a bit more ink blending here to finish these off. And then I'm going to, what's the word? Put it all together. where's my big brush? There it is. So here we go, some warm lipstick. And I'm just going to add this onto my background. Enough to cover 3 heart shapes. In fact, you don't really even need to cover the whole heart shape, but I feel like it makes for a nicer finish if you do cut out the 3 hearts. So just to kind of make that make a bit more sense than it perhaps did. You can just cut out a strip of this so that it fits behind, so you don't have to cut 3 hearts. However, I feel like it just finishes it off that little bit tidier. Try not to bend my cardstock here. If you cut out the 3 hearts, so I feel like that might be enough of it done. 1, 2, and I think we'll probably be able to get number 3 out of there, so that's fine. So yeah, we'll cut that down, we'll add that on there, that on there, and I'm just going to trim this point down because that won't go through my die cutting machine either. And then little die cutting machine, pop them in place, and off we go. So we're now 10 to 3. Can we get this done before 3 o'clock? That'll be a good 2-hour crafty session. That's good for me. And I've got an afternoon full of crafting still to come, so I'm living my best life today. I get to craft with you guys, and then I get to do some crafting for Hobby Maker. And then tomorrow I have a lovely drive to Birmingham, so when I'm doing the shows, depending on what time I've got to be there, so I've got to be there for at least 3 o'clock tomorrow because I'm not on till 5. So I'll probably set off about 12, half 12. Probably have my lunch and then set off, and then have a lovely little drive. Hopefully the traffic's not a nightmare. It can be in the week, but Saturday afternoon maybe, we may be okay. And have a nice little drive. I put a podcast on, listen to a nice podcast while I'm driving, and yeah, it's quite a nice relaxing trip. And then obviously we get to the studio, I get prepped for the show. The show, although there's a bit of waiting around in the studio, the show is over quite quickly, weirdly. Although it is a full hour, it tends to fly by. I'm just going to stick this on with a bit of glue. In fact, I'm going to add the glue to the back of the card. And then have a nice little drive home, and hopefully a nice cheeky little glass of wine when I get in. So it's quite a nice, it's work, but it's not work as we know it, if you know what I mean. It's like, it's probably, I'm very, very lucky that I get to go and just craft for the afternoon and that be my job, and it's always very nerve-wracking because you don't know if anybody's going to buy anything, and obviously if people don't buy anything, then although it's my job, I've not got paid for it. So it is very important that we have a good day, but at the same time I just absolutely love doing it, so it's not a chore. The prep can be stressful, I'm not going to lie, because you're working to a deadline, you've got to get things done, and because we're working around our other business as well, it can sometimes be a bit like, oh God, there isn't enough hours in the day to do everything, and sometimes it feels like you're trying to fit it in around other things when really it should be the most important thing, because like I say, it's my job. So I'm gonna stick these together actually because that will then help me with the rest of it. I'm considering doing a little bit of something on this background so it's not as plain white. And I've got a couple of ideas that I might attempt. One being maybe, and again, this is something that I always have to really think about, using my scattered hearts stencil as an embossing folder, an embossing folder, but not a folder, an embossing element. But I can never remember the like the combination to make it. You have to put it on in a certain way so that it pushes through your cardstock, don't you? So I'm not sure if I can remember. So if anybody watching can remember the order, then please let me know. That's cute. Hugs Hi XO. So because I don't think it needs anything much in the background, but a little bit of an embossed situation I think would look quite cute. So if I put that on there, I kind of have to push that through. So normally I would put my die there and push that through. So I'm putting it this way, potentially with a little bit of something behind there. Let's try that. I have no idea whether that will work, but what's the worst that could happen is what they say. I do have somewhere like a little an embossing sheet that you pop in to your, here it is. I think this is it. So this is like supposedly helps push things through, but again I can't remember which way around it is, so let's try it. It might not be this way around, but if it's not, we'll try it the other way. One way is going to work, isn't it? So we're having fun experimenting today. I've got the heating on and I'm so hot under these lights today as well. So, put this back. Love this die set. I think it's so fun. So sweet. Right, has this worked? No, it hasn't. So, why is that? Oh no, it has! Oh! So, my sandwich. Shall I show you my sandwich again? Because it did work and I'm so excited. So, this is the back plate, if you like. So, I've got my two plates, my inner sandwich plate. I don't know what that one's called, really. I've got my embossing mat. Then I laid my cardstock down. Then I put my stencil on top. And then this is my bowed top layer. And then I pushed it through this way round. So turn it all upside down and push it through that way. So that was my sandwich. I hope that makes sense. Whether I'll remember to do it that way again in the future remains to be seen, but it worked. And I'm going to show you the close-up, and hopefully you can see how much it worked and what that dimension looks like. So you can use your scattered heart stencil as a cute heart embossing folder. Cute. Love that. So now what that's given me, it's given me a little bit of texture to that background that I didn't have before. I'm going to pop this up onto some foam, or you could use some of your little scraps of fun foam that we used before, if you remember. They're very handy for that purpose. Oh, I've got that a little bit too long, but don't worry because we can use that for one of our little hugs. So I'm going to put one on that side, and then I've done that one too long as well. No, that one's just right. and that one on there. So let's pop this up onto here. Pop it the right way around. Pop it where we can see it. Oh, love that. See, now that is much better than what I had originally planned. So did I go this way around in the end? Yeah, I think I quite liked that order. So we'll pop that one on there. And that's now says, is that in the middle? Is that straight? Can't tell without getting my head right in the shot, which is really annoying. So that's my middle. That should be my middle. There. Sometimes, you know, trying to get a good bird's eye view is quite difficult without getting my head in shot. And then high, we'll do that one next. That one's hanging over the edge, so I'm just going to move it. So I did quite a big piece there. That's better. Probably didn't need quite as much foam as all of that, but is that going to be enough room for that one? No. Let's just try and gently just manoeuvre that one. What I might have been better doing is putting my other one on first. So let's do that one first. Pop that stuck to my fingers. Yeah, so we're going to pop the one on the bottom first, so that I know that that's just touching the edge there of my stitching, and then this one will then fit evenly in the middle of the other two, like so. Feels like that one might be on the wonk, but and there we go. So that is card number 3 finished, and again really cute, really easy to do, just some cutting some bits out of cardstock. We had a little bit of an experiment with the background, but that aside, you know, we've managed to get 3 cards done in 2 hours. It's no, you know, land speed record or anything, but for us I think that's quite an achievement. So we've got the Hi Hugs XO, we've got the You Light Up My Life, and then we've also got the Love You Lots, I'm a Sucker for You. So these are 3 really adorable cards that I think are going to be very easy to recreate, will be great for Valentines, for this one in particular, great for a Galentine, I think. Great for boyfriends, husbands, you know, just really sweet cards, and really easy and fun to make. I think we've achieved the brief today. I think we've done quite well. I love how these have turned out. These are probably some of my favourites. I might even add some little white highlights to these, because you know that I am a sucker for that, as well as a sucker for you as our oh, I've smudged that bit now, look, that is the danger. Don't worry, we can rectify it. Lovely. And I might even add that in there. That's cute, isn't it? Nice. So yeah, I don't think you can notice that we've made a little smudge there. Beautiful, very cute. So what do we think? Do we like? Would we recreate any of these? Let me know in the comments if you would like and subscribe. Pippa says, I've loved the demonstrations. Thank you. You're very welcome, Pippa. Thank you so much for watching. Like I say, if you're not already a follower of the channel, please do like and subscribe, because it helps other crafty Crafty Peeps, find us and enjoy some of our videos as well. Really helps us a lot if you do share. And yeah, we'll see you again. I hope to see you again next week. Well, we should be back, no problems, next Friday with another Crafting Live. I've not decided what we're going to do next time. I think it's perhaps going to be a bit more spring related, because I feel like I'm ready for some nice spring pastels and some nice bright coloured cards to get us out of this wintry funk that we've been in. So I will see you all then, and I will see you tomorrow on Hobby Maker at 5 p.m. so please do tune in. It'd be great if you could join me, and I will see you all there. Thank you very much, guys. See you all soon. Bye.